The start of the 2025 NFL season is nearly upon us, folks. What will the New England Patriots do to spend all that money they got burning in their pocket? Stick around. You're about to be locked in to the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. I'm your host, Mike Debate, and I cover your New England Patriots for Patriots Country, so reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. And while you're out there showing some love to Locked On Patriots social media style, follow our X account at LO_Patriots. And you can always catch me over where the skies are blue on Blue Sky at MDABATENFL.bsky.social. And Pats fans, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Pats fans, free agency is just hours away at this point. The 2025 league year beginning on Wednesday, March 12th at noon Eastern. Of course, the legal tampering period starting on Monday, March 10th. And that means, folks, if we're ready to start the season, it's time to talk finance. How much are the Patriots going to spend? What might the deals for some of the NFL's most highly coveted targets look like? And will the Pats invest in a trade or two? Well, we're going to discuss all of that today. And fortunately for us here on Locked On Patriots, we got the man with the plan. He is the best of the best, the GOAT of GOATs, the Pharaoh of Foxborough Finance, the monetary maestro of Patriots Nation, the great and powerful wizard of Benzan. Not enough names as far as I'm concerned, folks. I could keep going all day long. Most importantly, though, he is my great friend, one of the best people you'll ever meet on this planet. The PatsCap himself is joining us today to get us ready for free agency, Miguel Benzan. But welcome back to the pod.
Oh, love being on your show. Gotta say it. Gotta shout out. Gotta say hi to the people on the squad. I love that new addition. Gotta give them out. Well, the last one was pretty good. I was just talking about before with you at the show. I think it's a crack up that when you guys clap when the guys come on. I was like, all right, I was dying.
Well, we appreciate that. We put a lot of work into the squad shows. We also put a lot of fun into the squad shows as well. So it's great to know that you're one of our everydayers in that regard, or every weekers, I should say, when it comes to, I don't know if that's a term, but I'm going to coin it right now, when it comes to the squad show. But you are a valued member of the Locked On Patriots family, and it's always our honor when you join us on the microphone, bud.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Miguel, it is a new era in Foxborough. For the second straight year, the Patriots going into free agency in the league year with a brand new head coach, a little bit of a different approach in the front office, and a whole lot of cash to burn in their pocket. So let's get right down to it, my friend, because everyone in Pats Nation wants to know how much are the Patriots going to spend? What are some of these deals going to look like? Can they swing some trades as well as sign marquee free agents? So according to your calculations, our New England Patriots are set to enter the 2025 league year with approximately $134.5 million in salary cap space. Now, according to your reports, your number is higher than others because you're projecting a $10.3 million positive adjustment number, while those others are not making projections or they're using zero. You also were very cautious to report that you have an effective salary cap space number, and that number is $109.6 million. That's lower than some of the other projections because you're projecting $24.85 million in future expenses, while other sources are using 7.8. So once again, you see things us mere mortals don't see. And whenever I have a salary cap question, you're the only source I need. You're the only one I go to. Before we get into the exciting stuff and trying to break down deals, if you would indulge for me and my listeners for just a moment, what's the difference between the salary cap space number, the effective number, and how do you arrive at those calculations?
Okay, Mike. So this is what I did. So this, and basically the difference is the other sites just are talking about the impact of signing the 2025 draft class. All right. But that's not the only future salary cap expense teams will have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. they will have to. Every team will have a practice squad. All right, and right now I have on the screen I had 5.25 million. When I was here in February, I was just using $5 million, but I went back since then, and I just said, let's pretend the Patriots do exactly everything they did with the practice squad last year. All right.
Mhm.
But because the practice squad salaries went up from 2024 to 2025, and the base salaries when you elevated a player also went up, that cost went up. And the Patriots did not have on 2024 a lot of veterans on it. They had a lot of rookies or players on it. I was guessing that maybe that will change. So I bumped my estimate from $5 million to $5.25 million. All right. And we know, and I shouldn't say we know. I should tell people that once a player who has active roster bonuses earns a not likely to be active roster bonus, that not likely active roster bonus hits the cap immediately. For example, if a player was active for 16 games in 2024, and he's played all 16 games in 2025, when he's active for the 17th game, that active roster will hit the cap.
Okay.
So the team will lose cap space. And then let's pretend everyone who has active roster bonuses is active for every game next year for this season, which we would want. We want to be healthy. The Patriots lose around $3.6 million in cap space. All right. When the 2025 regular season begins, the top 51 rule ends. And what that means is right now on my salary cap worksheet, I'm only counting the salaries of the 51 players on the roster, even though there's only 61 contracts. Why 51 and not 53? Do not know. Never known. I've asked around. I asked people who've been in the league for years why there's a difference between 51 and 53. You would think they would change it, like Lily, but they haven't. All right. And then I'm just using a rough estimate of $7.5 million to replace injury players and when they reach injury settlements. I have no idea who's going to get injured and when they're going to get injured. So I just use a round number of $7.5 million. All right. And that explains why I have a lower effective cap space number than other people do, because they're just including the draft class. I'm including the practice squad, active roster bonuses, players 52 and 53, and then replacing injury salary players. That's the difference. And I should say to Mike, when I'm talking about the adjustments, today's the 8th. The league year starts on the 12th. We've still not gotten the official numbers yet. I'm just using projection from what I've done. All right. And that's a big difference, using from 0 to 10.346. All right. That's why my number is so much higher. I know, like, over the cap has right now the Patriots with $125.1 million. And you can see I got 134.5. That's a big difference.
Right.
That's like you could sign, that difference is signing a player who would maybe get a $10 million average per year deal. You know, that $10 million is like, we look at, I'm trying to think who in the spreadsheet, that's close to what I would give Drew Dahlman in the deal in a as a part of a multi-year year. That would be his closest 2025 cap number.
Right.
All right. Hopefully that explains it. It's so looking at this spreadsheet, folks, that number where it says that row that says projected, that means it is really projected. I'm surprised we haven't heard it. I had made a joke on Blue Sky that was going to happen on Wednesday because I was tied up in meetings. All right, and it still hasn't happened. All right. We'll see. It will eventually come out. I just don't know when. I'm hopefully not when I'm in a meeting. But so, like, if the next question, inevitable question would be like, hey, Miguel, how does this affect the Patriots salary cap number? If I've come close, I don't think I'll be exactly right. But let's say that they say it's $10 million, the adjustment. Then my number was $346, $315 high. All right. That's how you adjust it. It's like I already accounted for it, most of it, but I don't think I'll be exactly 100% right. I've never been right. And there's some stuff that happens behind the scenes I will never know. Okay. All right. Hopefully that answers the question, Mike.
No, I think it absolutely does. And again, I think you've outlined it very well for all of us here on Locked On Patriots. And as you said several times, Miguel, there are factors that go into the Patriots salary cap situation, that go into their financial restraints that national analysts simply just do not have a line of sight to. And that's why you're always the accurate source. You're always the one that I go to because you're always on the money and you have that line of sight into what the Patriots are doing locally and what they've done in the past and applying that to what they are not only doing in the present, but what they have to do in the future. So, folks, it's always a masterclass when Miguel joins me here on the microphone. And I thank him for setting the record straight in that regard. But what are some of these potential deals for blockbuster free agents going to look like? And if the Patriots are to sign some marquee free agents, what might their deals look like as well? We'll even dip into the question of whether or not the Patriots can swing a trade or two while signing a couple of marquee free agents over the course of the next few days. It's going to be an exciting time in Foxborough. And like I said to open the show today, we've got the man with the plan. He'll be back in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, when the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in on the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Pats fans, thank you for joining us here today on Locked On Patriots as we continue to count down the hours, the minutes, and even the seconds until the start of the 2025 NFL League year. Most importantly, getting you ready for Monday and the legal tampering period, which will open the floodgates. And as you can hear, my guest is chuckling at that. Yeah, it is a laugh-worthy term, no question about it. But we'll play the game that the league wants us to play. Joining me here today to lend all of the wisdom and counsel you need when it comes to Foxborough finance, free agency, and potentially the trade market is the man with the plan, the money man himself, my good friend, Miguel, the PatsCap Benzan, who's already broken off the wisdom and counsel meter, bringing you up to speed on the difference between his initial salary cap number and the effective salary cap number and how certain investments throughout the year can affect the Patriots' bottom line. But Miguel, we're about to delve into the exciting part of what free agency means for the New England Patriots, because obviously there are players out there that are on the wish list of several members of Patriots Nation. A lot of our everydayers flood our inboxes and our comment section on YouTube, opining for the opportunity to sign players like a Milton Williams or a Ronnie Stanley. They want to bring in players that they believe can really help to move this franchise forward. So I know you've been hard at work. I know you've been toiling away and taking a look at the bottom line and finding out how to crunch the numbers. When it comes to going into free agency and it comes to the Patriots' approach to free agency, kind of walk us through what that process would be and kind of drop some of that wisdom and counsel on us as well, my friend.
I think they're going to hit the lines hard. So Murph's is going to be happy. I had like a... And I think they're gonna have to pay for still being overpay. You want to say for being a bad team. I know people want to talk about the millionaires tax in Massachusetts has. I don't think it matters. People still sign big deals for signing the basketball players, NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, saying the Celtics. They still sign with the Celtics. Still sign with the Red Sox. So why is it going to single out the Patriots, right? When you're making that much money, is having a 9%. I think it's a 9% tax. Does that really get affected when you play half your games outside of the state? Okay, all right. I mean, look at the Alaric Jackson just signed with the re-signed with the Rams, and his in California has a higher tax rate than Massachusetts. So I think this idea that players won't come in because of taxes. I mean, maybe some won't, but I don't think it's going to. Hey, there's going to be close to 400 to 500 agents. I don't think free agents coming up. I don't think it's going to affect all of them, especially when you.
Point.
And so I think they're going to go big and big. They're going to get the big guys. I think that we're going to be surprised by some of these deals that they sign. There's going to be someone that they sign and no one's is mentioning now. I don't know who it is, and I think that's why I'm looking forward to it. I do think that they're going to have to stop trying to win every deal. Last year, most of the deals were I considered team friendly. I think they're going to have to become stop trying to win every deal and become maybe player friendly deals, or at least more neutral. They have to do that in order to sign someone this year. I think they can't like say, hey, I want to get a bargain when they're the ones with the needs. Right. They're the ones who's got a bottom. They've been 4-14. So you don't have the luxury of trying to win every free agency deal this year.
Yeah.
You don't have Bill Belichick. You don't have Tom Grady. You don't have Rob Gronkowski. You don't have those things.
Absolutely.
You need to make your best deal, and let's not. I know what happened with Adam Humphries, where they went back to him and then try to beat the offer from some other teams, the Tennessee. You're going to come strong from the get-go.
Right.
So I don't want to. I'll be disappointed. I won't get mad, but I'll be disappointed if I hear, hey, the Patriots came up with a better offer after the player accepted another deal. But I don't think it's gonna. I think they know what they need. Hopefully, I think they know what they need to do, and they think they need to blow the player away on with a good offer. Like we'll talk about these deals. I'll say this, folks. This is for signing with the Patriots. All right. I expect if some of the players sign with another team, I wouldn't be surprised if they sign with less money. I'm bumping up the tax, if you will, for signing with the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, I think it comes down to that point that you made, Miguel. This is such a different experience for Patriots fans for the last 20 years. Now, it has been, I think, maybe a little bit more of the norm the last couple of years, but this team now has to go out and aggressively sell itself. They have to sell their future. And that's something that this team never really had to do before. Their future was kind of marketed. It was marketed for them. The team sold itself, you might as well say. You can come to the New England Patriots. You can play alongside Tom Brady and catch passes if you're a receiver, or block for the greatest quarterback that ever put on shoulder pads. You can play defense under Bill Belichick and learn all of the mastery that he has accumulated throughout his entire career in the NFL. Patriots don't have that anymore. I think they have significantly more punch this year than they did last year. And I say that with no disrespect at all to Gerard Mayo. But Mike Vrabel's been a head coach in this league. He's been to an AFC championship game. He does have a little bit more capital built up, a strong marketing push in that regard. But I completely agree with you. The Patriots have to come out, and they have to come out aggressive right out of the box. If they start playing games with players, they're going to find themselves on the outside looking in on almost every single one of these deals. You don't have that type of clout in New England anymore. You have to understand what you've become and then try to sell where you want to go. And that, to me, is going to be how they're going to win some of these deals.
Yep. I thought you blew a reference to The Godfather there. I think there was something, you had a chance there.
All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say maybe an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, something like that.
It's not personal, Miguel. It's strictly business.
It's strictly business, and that is. It took me a while. I've been doing this for a while, like doing the salary cap stuff. It took me a while to realize that when I was doing this, I was like, the players often take it as personal. The owners usually take it as business, and they really when the players take it as a business, they're better off.
we've heard a number of different free agents out
Mhm.
there that could be out on the market, some of which are expecting big deals. And we know from personal experience that linemen tend to make out very well in free agency, both
Yep.
on the offensive line and defensive line. Patriots right now are reportedly eyeing two players that could really be difference makers on both sides of the ball. We talked about them earlier in the week here on Locked On Patriots, and that is Milton Williams at the defensive tackle and also offensive lineman Ronnie Stanley. If the Patriots were to enter the fray for either one of these players, what might a deal look like? Is it realistic to think that the Patriots could snag them both?
I think it's realistic. I think they're gonna get to get them. I project they're gonna get both. They could sign them to both the same deal, $25 million a year. I think that's what's gonna need to take. And I felt really good when Mike Reese from ESPN has projected the Patriots would sign Ronnie Stanley to a 4-year, $100 million deal. So that's $25 million a year. I just went with 3 years. I in all my deals, Mike, I went with 3 years because I think that the players this year are going to go with shorter deals. I'll be pleasantly surprised, if the Patriots sign a big deal, and I'm talking something like that's averages over $10 million to $25 million, or even $30 million a year. That's going to be longer than 4 years. I'll be pleasantly surprised. I know that last year Christian Barmore and Stevenson signed long deals, but I also consider them team friendly. All right. So I think that we could show Milton. I use the same deal. I swear, Mike, they have so much cap space, Mike. They could sign those two players and still have plenty of cap space to fill out the rest of the roster. Which
fans love to hear that.
It is crazy how much cap space they have. I said on the last show and that I expected Drake May to become the highest paid Patriot of all time with his next deal, and I am growing more and more confident in that because the cap went up, and I should have mentioned this last from at the beginning. In February, we were using $275 million as a cap number for the league cap number, and ended up being $279.2 million. That $4.2 million increase, all right. And I'll say this: I'm going to say my guess for the 2026 number is going to be $300 million on the dot. All right. It's going to the Patriots have the cap space, they have the needs, and like I know that Murph wants Dan Moore. All right. We're not signing Dan Moore to a $25 million deal. He's going to sign a much. If they were going to pick one, if they lose out on Ronnie Stanley, because I know the Ravens say they're hopeful to sign him. All right. If let's say they do sign him, and if I was the Patriots, I would pivot to Dan Moore, but I wouldn't be paying him $25 million. I would overpay him like at maybe 21. All right. Because I would pay him. The funny thing is, I'd pay him even more than what Alaric Jackson got, just to make sure I got him.
Right.
All right. Let's show the numbers. And I just want to tell people, like as we just heard about the franchise tag numbers. You could see the defensive lines and the defensive tackles are getting big money. And I think this is and I didn't correct the years. The age is Ronnie Stanley is wrong. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, folks. All right. All right. Okay. I got the age because I copied and pasted from someone else. All right. The age is wrong. Ignore that. All right. I made a mistake. I'll take a lap. All right. After the show. All right.
Technically, my friend, it was another person's mistake. You just happened to copy it. So you carried the wrong information, but you didn't manufacture the wrong information.
Yeah.
See, I moonlight as Miguel's attorney in my spare time. So all kidding aside, my friend, please continue.
Okay. So he's going to, in this deal, all right, I give him a $30 million signing bonus, and I guarantee his salary in 2026 and 2027. All right. I don't guarantee any amount of his salary in 2027, because that way I can just walk away and eat some dead money. And why I'm doing that is like, all right, I want to guarantee I have Drake May's back next 2 years. All right. And then I leave myself the option to extend him in 2027. All right. Would not fully guarantee the 3-year deal. That's not good business. All right. But I would guarantee the first 2 years of his deal. Patriots started this practice last year of giving every veteran, an off-season workout bonus. All right. So I'm following that standard. And Patriots deals also have for standard an active roster bonus. All right. So he's going to get paid a lot of money just for being active for every game. That's not guaranteed money. All right. That's not going to be in the guaranteed total. Right. But literally, if he shows up, he makes $250,000. It's not going to be listed in the guaranteed money when the deal gets reported. But I would consider it basically guaranteed money because he's under control. He controls it. Right. And he wouldn't sign the deal saying for 250, whatever the amount is. All right, I'm just guessing what the amount is, right? But I know it's going to be more than zero. And if it's substantially more than, let's say, $100,000, all right, I suspect that he agreed to that and he's going to earn it. All right. And I'm just basically, Mike, and I'm just doing the same thing what they did with the incentives. I'm doing the same thing they did with Cal Duggar. I offer these $1 million, these bonuses, incentives if he plays it well. All right.
Right.
And I'll say this: don't like to speak too soon about the 2026 salary cap, but let's just say, let's remember, if he Ronnie Stanley becomes a Pro Bowl, his 26 number goes up by $1 million. All right. But then the Patriots adjusted cap number is going to go down by $1 million. So that if he hits that, he earns the Pro Bowl, the Patriots cap 2026 cap number goes down not by $1, but by $2 million. All right. So, folks, that's one thing to keep aware of. Like, yeah, it's people you'll see out there. The Patriots got to have all this cap space in 2026, but are they taking effect any incentives and how many players they have signed? Because folks, right now the Patriots have over 61 players on the roster, right? You'll see these numbers if you look at right now, but how many players they have on the roster? Like 20, 25? All right. The Patriots are going to have 26 players, at least 51 players in March of 2026 by the time free agency starts to begin. Then that's the number you should be using. And off my softbox, I go.
I will say this, a hell of a soapbox, but no, you absolutely make some great points. I've gone on record to say that my free agency crush, everybody has draft crushes right now. My free agency crush right now is one Milton Williams of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Love the way this guy played in the Super Bowl, obviously, but this has been a progression from Milton the last couple of years. We've seen him double his totals, his productivity totals, when it comes to the season he had in 2024 and 2022 and 2023 combined. That was a big time move up for him. You can see that he's the type of guy that could be the aggressive type of defender up front that Terrell Williams is going to want, that I think Mike Vrabel is going to love here in New England. Again, it's going to come down to money and whether or not the Patriots can present a convincing enough case to pry him away from the defending champions and offer him the salary he's going to want. So if the Patriots were to follow my advice, my friend, and they go and they dip their toe into the Milton Williams sweepstakes, what might a deal to sign Milton look like at this point?
I'll give him the same deal I gave him right on $75 million over 3 years. And let's, Mike, and I'll say I'm offsetting the cost of that because I'm assuming they're trading Davon Gardner. All right. So while I'm showing that his cap number is $19 million, over $19 million, let's just remember that if we trade Davon Gardner, we're going to create cap space that way.
Right.
All right. And we're going to get off and we're going to save some cash that way. So this kind of, it does by no means trading Josh Garcia pays for Milton Williams, but it offsets partially the cost of obtaining a younger player because he's not cheaper. He's going to be just younger. And I think we would be in 2025, my guess that Milton Williams would play better in the Patriots scheme than Davon Gardner. You're not signing Milton Williams and thinking, hey, I'm getting Davon Gardner play. You're thinking you're going to get better play.
Yeah.
And this way you have a crazy talented young defensive line with Barmore, Williams, and White.
Absolutely.
All right? Something to build around. All right. And then in this draft, as you guys been saying on your Monday show, you got a lot of talent on the defensive line, right. And hopefully you could double dip on an edge there, or pick something up else. They have. I'll be surprised if Milton Williams isn't signed to a deal that's at least $23 million a year from anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing that 25 is the number. We'll see. That's why I used it. All right. And I thought it would be close. I would like to have some Patriots like to duplicate themselves in deals. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have signed a couple of players to the same number. It just maybe the structure will be a little different. All right. Remember they signed John Smith and Hunter Henry, both the same deal, API. They structured the deals up. Hunter Henry had a 3-year deal, John Smith had a 4-year deal. So I'm thinking that the Patriots are going to have their two biggest hits in free agency. Is going to be one on offense, one on defense. It wouldn't be surprised me if they had the same API, but the structure may be different.
Very good point. Very good point. And I appreciate you indulging my free agency crush here on a moment because, by all means, folks, I mean, everyone looks at these types of deals and wants to know what the Patriots can do, what they can't do. And once these deals do start falling into place, what then can they do to help round out the roster? Because you and I both know, Miguel, that initial wave of free agency is exciting and your head's on a swivel and no one knows what's coming from one point to the next. Teams are making signings. Then there's a lull, and then there's a second wave where some of those maybe second-tier free agents start falling into place, and the dominoes start falling accordingly. So it's going to be a very, very interesting couple of weeks here for the New England Patriots and all 32 NFL teams when it comes to filling out a roster. And we get the guy that shows us exactly what these teams need to do, especially your New England Patriots. But I know we've talked about a couple of deals specifically because they are popular targets from a lot of our listeners here on Locked On Patriots. But when you look at the free agent perspective, I know you approach this with a level head, with a financial eye, and we always appreciate that. But
Thank you.
You're a fan, just like all of us are. When you look at what the Patriots are doing, any moves that you hope they're going to make, and have you made any calculations in terms of what they might do, in the next few days coming up?
I hope they sign a top-level cornerback, right? That, like, say, a Byron Murphy, all right? Or, my gosh, Travis Ward or DJ Reed. Okay. DJ, Oh, my gosh. Here's the Jets. All right. I know because I literally would love to make the Jets worse and us better. All right. All right. But I tried to go with a younger guy when I was looking at doing these, coming up with the contracts. Let me go with the guy who's the younger guy, all right? Because you got Drake May, all right? Let's go build a young core around them, all right? Because the Patriots need more blue chip players, more young blue chip players. The team, one of my nephews asked me last weekend, why were the Patriots so bad? I said the talent, lack of talent on that roster.
You're
they
right.
Need more blue chippers on this team, and I'd rather go with younger than old. So I'd rather go with a Byron Murphy over the TJ just because Byron Murphy's younger. But I also want to structure the deal so then next year Christian Gonzalez can easily beat it and have him remain the number one cornerback and have the highest paid on the play because he's still, no matter, even if you were to sign any of these cornerbacks, the free agent cornerbacks, I think still Christian Giles could still be the number one cornerback on this team. All right.
Yeah, agreed.
So then I then would want to leave myself the flexibility of giving Christian Giles a top deal. And I want to, if let's just say Sauce Gardner, for some reason the Jets do not extend him. All right. I am signing Christian Gonzalez to a big deal right away after the season ends. That's when you can do it. All right.
Right.
So then to screw the Jets to make it more the cost of signing Sauce Gardner go up. All right. That's my dream because as you know, I don't like the Jets. So that's my dream scenario. We'll see. My philosophy in this was to go get young and try to get elite talent. All right, and still leave myself the ability to sign a whole bunch, improve my roster because the roster is so bad, Mike. Right now, you could sign a player and he'll still be better than what the Patriots had in 2024. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to take much.
Yeah.
All right. Like, and I'm saying, and we have this tab where it says my FAA plans. In that, I don't make a cut of a current player, or nor do I trade, but I have the capability of doing it. So if I were to sign a Ronnie Stanley, all right, I can offset some of that cost by cutting a Vidarian Lowe. All right. You know what I'm saying? And that you can think of, I just think of that way. All right. If I sign a Drew Dahlman, I'll probably cut David Andrews. If I sign a Milton Williams, I'm going to probably trade Devon Godshaw. Byron Murphy's, I'm not doing anything with him. I'm not doing anything on a roster with anything. All right. So this is my plan, folks. Right. I start off at $135 million. And these numbers you see to the right of the players is their 2025 cap number. It's not their API. And folks, you're going to hear deals. The players sign a 4-year, $120 million deal. All right. So that's $30 million per year. Doesn't mean his 2025 cap number is going to be $30 million. All right. Going to be probably more likely much lower than that. All right. So I'm able to sign these 5 players. All right. And I will still have close to $62 million in cap space left over without cutting anyone on the roster. And what do I mean by salaries displaced? All right. We're in the top 51 time of the year. All right. So if you sign Ronnie Stanley, he goes on the top 51 list. He kicks off a player, and that player is going to have a salary of $960,000. All right. So that's 5 players. 960 times 5 is $4.8 million. All right. They're in a position of, I just did these guys, so that's my thing. I going back and forth. All right. With adding, maybe I should have added 6, another person there, 6 people on the list for 6 rings. And if it would have been, I would have had a hard time picking between a guard or a wide receiver like Chris Godwin. All right. And if I was either one of them, I don't think they would get a deal. I think Chris Godwin probably tops out at maybe $23 million a year. All right. I don't think there's not going to be a guard. We're not paying a guy besides Trey Smith, who just, there's not going to be a free agent guy that's going to be worth $23 million. So let's say we sign either like a Will Freeze or Patrick Mahari. They'll probably end up going around the $13 to $15 million range. All right. So it means their year one, their 2020 cap number is going to be somewhere like $8 to $10 million. All right. I got, let's just do that. I still got enough cap space to do everything else. They're literally, they have enough cap space to to make this team better.
Right.
All right. And I'll say this. Let's just say they do sign these guys, all right? Milton Williams, Ronnie Stanley, or whatever. All right. And it's not the guy you want. Doesn't mean it's a bad move. It's just different. It's just somebody you didn't want. All right. I know that Murph doesn't want Ronnie Stanley. He wants Dan Moore instead. Doesn't mean it's a bad move they sign Ron. I think Murph will say it's a bad move they sign Ronnie Stanley. All right. But it's everybody. Some people will give an A. Murph might give an F. Doesn't mean he's wrong or right, because that's wrong or right. It's a fact. It's just opinion.
Exactly. And everyone's
Right?
entitled to their own
Yeah,
individual
entitled to their
opinions.
opinion.
It is.
I
It is a
yeah,
matter of preference. And it's
yeah,
good to know that because these guys can shoot for the stars right now, meaning the
yeah.
New England Patriots. They can go max deals on a couple of these guys or max
Yep.
deals in a reasonable standpoint and still have the money left over to be able to improve this roster. And of course, we're hearing about a lot of players that we're told could seek a trade. The team that allowed them to seek the trade not really getting fair value or the deal they were looking for in return. So these guys are going to now go out and test free agency, one of which I talked about a couple of weeks ago here on Locked On Patriots, and that's Harold Landry, who has a tremendous
Yep.
amount of experience working with Mike Vrabel, the type of player that can come in, not necessarily transform a defense, but someone who can come in and provide experience and also who I think can help to acclimate this locker room that's going to be playing under Mike and Terrell Williams for the first time. It's going to be a much different defensive scheme. It's good to have someone in the room that knows it. To me, I think this is a move that the Patriots could make.
We didn't have a chance to talk about the trades. I just want to point this out. All right. We had like Ayuk, Trey Henderson, Henderson, TJ Metcalf, all mentioned as trades. All right. And they all have 1 year, at least 1 year left on the deal.
Mhm.
And they all probably want big. In the case of Ayuk, he's already got it signed for multiple years. But like
Right.
Trey Henderson and TJ Metcalf already have 1 year left on the deal. Hendricks is 31 years old and he's got $16 million left. All right.
Mhm.
And he probably wants $30 million because Max Crosby just got like $35 million a year. Right. But let's just say if you were any team, I don't think the Patriots would do it, but let's just say any team would have signed. Let's put the TJ Metcalf, even though he said he doesn't want to come here. All right. And he's got $18 million worth of cash this year. And he wants $30 million a year. All right. If you were to sign him through the 2027 season, you would end up and to meet his goal would be paying him $78 million because he's already got the 18.
Right.
All right.
Mhm.
And then you get $60 million over 2 years. That's the $30 million. 60 plus the 18 is 78. 78 divided by 3.
Yeah.
All right. That's $26 million. Now he's not in what the Patriots can pay over the year, but his agent is going to say he got $30 million a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
All
and
right.
it's funny how they look at those numbers and they're able
Yeah.
to put a positive spin on them. And it's legal. I mean, there's nothing illegal about what they're saying, but it's just about how you present it and how you market it is so important in this business. It really and truly is. And you
The
pointed that out
team's
so
going to let
well.
him say it. They're going to say 30 million. We'll say the agent will say $30 million. And
Right.
that's when the agent sends his text to his friendly mouthpieces. All right. That's what they'll say. All right.
Right.
But the team's gonna think about it. I'm paying this guy $26 million over the next 3 years,
Right.
not $30 million.
Absolutely.
All
Without any
right.
question. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Metcalf because he is a popular topic right now among
Yeah.
Patriots Nation. A lot of people wondering, especially now with the Seahawks dealing away Geno Smith, could the Patriots maybe put Joe Milton in a package and maybe sweeten the deal a little bit? Some people are thinking this could be possible for the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Now,
All
look,
right.
folks, I think there's a lot of logistics, and we talked a lot about Metcalf here yesterday. Murph and I did about
Yep.
whether or not this was
Yep, you did.
feasible, whether or not it was something that the Patriots should pursue. Both he and I thought that the asking price that Seattle was going to end up getting is probably going to be a little bit too rich for the Patriots' blood, picks wise, not necessarily money wise, because they can't afford to sign him to a max deal. But it's the amount of capital they're going to have to give up. And if a team like the Green Bay Packers is willing to give up that number 23, and again, what you said, I think fits so well into this. If DK's agent wants to come back and say, yeah, I got you a deal, and I got the team in return a first rounder, yeah, all of a sudden it looks pretty good. You can put, DK Metcalf dealt for a first round pick. In the meantime, you're talking about the Patriots who would have had to include the number 4, which they're not going to do, as opposed to the number 23. There's a big difference there.
Yeah,
but
there's a
the
huge
marketing
difference.
makes all the difference.
It's exactly you nailed it. It's the marketing because like the Seahawks saying they want a first and a third. Right. They limited themselves to the teams who made the playoffs last year.
Yes.
So they're not getting. You're not going to give up a top 10 pick.
Right.
If the Seahawks had maybe the number 9 or 12th pick in the draft, maybe I could see the Patriots trading back to that spot and while getting Metcalf, like saying you was like the 12th spot in Metcalf for number 4, but not where I think they're drafting 17 or 18. All right, no, I think they're drafting 18. I don't see that happening, but it's gonna be fun to be what's gonna happen. Take a look at it. I'll say this, folks. I'm not gonna know right away what the player's cap number is. I need a lot of information to calculate the number correctly, especially if the player missed some games last year. Okay, all right, because the active because that determines his active roster bonuses. I'm only going to count for LTB purposes the ones he was active for. Right. So if they sign a player that was not active every 17 games, I'm not even going to try to guess. I'm not going to even try to guess. I don't. There's so much going on in my life. I'm not going to waste my time trying to get an estimate. All right.
Yeah. Absolutely right, and I think you're right on the money when it comes to that. But regardless, the New England Patriots clearly have a number of decisions to be made within the next few days, and a lot of salary cap space and a lot of draft capital to work with over the course of the next few days. How will the Patriots put it to work? Well, I think our good friend here has delivered a masterclass in how the Patriots are about to go and do their business. Miguel, we'd love to have you back here post free agency and kind of go over what the Patriots did, what the impact will be on their future. And we always love having you here anyway. And I think you deserve an opportunity to set the record straight once again, my friend. We missed that segment here on Locked On Patriots where you come on and you absolutely obliterate all of the cap myths that are floating around out there.
The cap myth was perpetrated by Murph. Kept on saying Gottschall is in his last year in his deal. He's not. He signed through 2026.
See, folks, this is why we love having him on.
I'm like, what? Come on, Murph. Like, no.
Miguel today not only put Murph in his place, he also schooled me on The Godfather. I think Miguel right now, if you're looking at a batting average, he's up at 1,000. He is like the anti-John Blutarski right now. He is not 0.0. He is 4.0, head of the class as far as I'm concerned. All kidding aside, bud, we always appreciate you coming by. Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to join us here on Locked On Patriots. Get us all ready in Patriots Nation for free agency. Before I let you go, please let everyone know where they can reach out to you, interact with you, and what you are going to be involved with when it comes to the next few days, which are going to be exciting and very busy times for you, my friend.
I'm going to be on Blue Sky. I'm waiting for the adjustment number to come in. Going to hopefully find out on the 12th if the Patriots traded Davon Gottschall. I think if they're going to trade someone, they're going to do it on the first day rather than during the draft, excuse me. But we'll see. I'm looking forward, Mike, to how many blue chip talent there are. The free agents they sign. I'm hoping they sign at least one, and I'm hoping they have. I know they have the cap space to sign a couple. I'm looking forward to see what they do on the offensive line. I was like, how many guys are going to sign? All right, and you could legitimately make a case from them just totally turning that offensive line over. And
Absolutely.
we'll see. We'll see, Mike. I hope that I don't have to have a conversation with my nephew again where we're talking about a 4-13 season.
I think we're all hoping that in Patriots Nation right now. Yeah, I think not only are we hoping that, but also I guarantee you Mike Vrabel is hoping he doesn't have to have those conversations. Robert Kraft and the Kraft family are really hoping that they don't have to go back to Patriots Nation and talk about another 4-13 season. And most importantly, the Patriots fans do not want to endure another one of those. Onward and upward, and you've laid an impeccable blueprint for how the Patriots can do that from a financial standpoint. Folks, once again, I highly encourage you to follow my good friend Miguel at Blue Sky. patscap.bsky.social. You'll not only be well informed when it comes to the Patriots salary cap, and he is the best in the business. I've said several times, the plaque for the alternates doesn't exist because he has no equal, but he's also one of the best men I've had the privilege of getting a chance to get to know in this business or any walk of life. The charity work that he does, not only for Alzheimer's charities, but also for Habitat for Humanity, is really awe-inspiring. And it's something that each and every time I see the great work he does, I'm prouder and prouder each and every day to be a valued friend of yours. And thank you for being a valued friend of mine, my friend.
Thank
And
you.
bottom line, all of you everydayers out there, all of you occasional listeners, all of you joining us for the first time here on Locked On Patriots, thank you for making us a daily part and here a weekend part of your Patriots coverage. Do not go anywhere, folks, because wall-to-wall coverage will be available starting Monday as the New England Patriots begin their quest to upgrade their 2025 roster. In the meantime, on behalf of my good friend Miguel Benzan, the PatsCap himself, I'm Mike Debate, reminding all of you to stay safe, to stay well, to be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you back here again Monday on Locked On Patriots.